What's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Scyushi, and today I wanted to briefly go over some exciting things that are potentially coming to Zenith this year. Namely, we ended up getting a roadmap for this game. I'm sure most of you probably already ended up seeing this in their official Discord, but for those of you that didn't, I thought, hey, you know what? This is a good opportunity to just go over it very briefly. Now, another thing too is if you kept up with the game before it released, you'll notice that a lot of the text that they ended up using basically would always talk about 3 different classes, but the third one was always redacted. So it goes without saying that they were basically trying to keep this thing under wraps and keep it hype, but we did actually get a reveal that the next class coming to the game is going to end up being the Cyber Ninja, which looks really cool and sounds really cool too. I mean, I kind of briefly talk about some of the things that the developer said. Keep in mind, all of this is subject to change because basically all we've got right now is just a quick concept art, but basically by looking at the concept art, you can see that it looks like this class is going to end up using a two-handed sword. I could be wrong about that. It could just be that the weapon on the back of the character is quite literally just some weird cyber bow, because they do talk about how this character is going to end up using a bow and arrow, potentially end up having a grappling hook for traversal, which already makes it an epic class in my books. But then also something to do with stealth and precision, which tells me that we'll probably end up being able to go invisible as the class. Maybe you get assassination, crits or something like that from attacking from stealth. They also mentioned that you could grapple to an enemy, drop an explosive, and grapple away. I don't know why you would ever have to grapple away. Maybe they're just doing it for coolness sake, or maybe you can potentially hurt yourself with your own explosive. But generally speaking, with how fun they've made the other 2 existing classes, I have very high hopes for the Cyber Ninja. Now let's move on to the roadmap. So they mentioned that they want to listen to to the fan base and be transparent with their updates and stuff. So they basically say that because they're constantly changing what they're developing based on feedback, they don't necessarily want to announce some of the big things that they have planned. They go over some of the stuff that they've completed so far, which was removing shard locking, server stabilization, and stuff like that. But then they also mentioned some of the content coming this month, which is going to end up being in-game alerts, which they mention is basically when you don't get a notification about stuff from their Twitter or their Discord, they want to have that built into the game so that there's going to end up being a better communication between them and players that don't end up going into their socials. There's also supposed to be new quests this month, so they've added 23 new side quests, including quests in each biome to make leveling up more fun and diverse, which sounds good to me because a lot of the quests get kind of dull after a while. I mean, I'm still having my fun with it. I just haven't had a chance to play as much lately. They also reworked quests, so it says we've completely reworked the quest line and tutorials for the Fractured Plains to be easier to understand for people just getting into the game and be a bit less grindy. So that's going to be the starting area, so that's pretty cool that they finally ended up having a bit more of a tutorial added to the game or something, I suppose. There's also going to end up being a new armor tier, so they've added endgame armor and weapons. Not that I'm at the endgame, so yeah, I mean, it's cool that they ended up doing it though. They also mentioned that they fine-tuned Aberrut, which I assume is one of the late game bosses or something. They basically say that they balanced him to be more challenging and fun and give better feedback during fights. They're gonna do a bunch of armor visual glitches that they're fixing. They want to improve a bunch of the animations with a lot of the NPCs and so on and so forth to make them a little bit more distinct from one another. They also are planning on fixing the cross-buy issue. So generally speaking, the game right now has cross-buy. So you're supposed to be able to buy the game and own it on all platforms, but it seems like some people are having a problem with the Rift version of the game. There's going to be some UI improvements, and then also some MISC improvements. But then they also briefly talk about their plans for 2022 as a whole, which is going to be player housing, additional life skills, and crafting, which I really hope is like fishing or something, because I mean, The cooking is already so fun. We need like fishing, we need smithing, you know, like we need all of the jobs that are usually really, really boring in other MMOs, because doing them in VR is just awesome, right? They also plan on adding more endgame content, and the Cyber Ninja is supposed to be coming this year as well. But anyways, that's gonna do it for me today, ladies and gentlemen. I just wanted to have this as a quick video letting you guys know what was going on, just in case you didn't catch it.